Hi, Alan SoCal, and I'm going to be reviewing from the MOMAN store. I'm going to be reviewing a MOMAN product. This is the MOMAN C2 wireless microphone set. And the salient points, the most important thing to know, it is a 2.4 gigahertz operating system. To add my input, I've reviewed so many of these. I have probably 18 to 20 wireless mic systems. And many of them are the small, compact prosumer types. Some are very budget oriented. Some are like this. They're sort of a mid-range. This particular set, one transmitter, one receiver. It's $99.99 US at the time of the review. It auto pairs. You basically turn both units on and they find each other. It pairs. If you want to manually pair the unit, you hold down the power button on the transmit and on the receiver at the same time, and they will be forced to get together, so to speak. This particular system, although in the user's manual, which, by the way, I went through, I will tell you it's somewhat easy reading. There's not a lot you've got to do with this. With the system that I'm using right now, and the one I've been using now for over a year, I just turn them on, they're ready to go. I'm using a Sony a6400 mirrorless camera for my reviews. And yes, I did find a sweet spot setting because my camera has audio level, recording level settings. This particular unit had a comment about Sony cameras indicating that they might not be strong enough. You should go into your camera, make your adjustments. I would say that would basically be for any recording device. However, I'm going to switch from my standard system, so you'll at least have this as a reference. I'm going to switch over right now to the to this system. I have to put my reading glasses on again. This is the MOMAN C2, as I mentioned earlier. But I'm going to switch to the MOMAN system so that you can see the difference in audio, and then I'll just continue with some comments. Okay, so I have switched over to the MOMAN C2. I am wearing the recommended mic, the lapel mic, and lapel mic is right here. I have the gain on the receiving unit at 0, so I haven't added any additional gain. I'm very curious to see just what the audio sounds like before I go much further, and so that you can make a decision yourself right off the bat. Again, here's the transmitter. And you can see that the transmitter actually shows that, let me bring it in close again for you, I should have done this earlier. The transmitter has a indicator, a green indicator, and as well, and it just dropped out. Let me tap it again. I tapped the mute button. I don't think that's muting it. Let me try that again. Okay, I hit the mute button because the display disappeared and the display came back. Let me, oh, and no, it didn't disappear. Let me peel off the plastic protector. Yeah, you should be able to see the green indicator showing the audio level. So let me check the audio right now, and then I'm going to get right back to you. Okay, so I'm glad that I stopped and listened to what I had recorded using the MOMAN transmitter and the receiver. The receiver, by the way, was set at the 0 gain point. When I listened to my audio and when I compared it to my standard audio that I have set up for my recording area, and I think it's the microphone, but we're going to do another test. But right now, know that when I first used this system, what you were listening to was the receiving unit, which has that gain control from 0 to 15 in increments of 3 points. So every time you tap the gain button, you go up 3. I went to 3 and then I went to 6. So it could be slightly hot right now. I hope I'm not overdriving, but I looked on my camera and I looked at the audio level display and it didn't look like it was banging way to the right. So the audio might be a little hotter, more sensitive, but I didn't hear those crisp, higher frequencies, those higher voice audio treble end frequencies in the first recording. Hopefully now it's going to be a bit better. So what I'd like to do now, because I'm using the stock microphone, I'm going to change out the mic and I'm going to use the mic that's on my other system. And the one thing I noticed immediately, and let me put down the transmitter, when I take the foam off of the mic, I do see there's a side port on this microphone, and of course the condenser element up here at the top. So it's supposed to be not fully directed. It should be picking up some ambient audio here, but if I point like this, pointing to myself, I'm sure the audio picks up a bit as opposed to pointing straight up and down, but that's why they've got these ports on the side. Okay, so I put that little wind foam piece back on. I'm going to undo this microphone and I'm going to use the mic from my other system and let's see how it sounds. Okay, let me see. Whoops. Okay, clip it on. One thing you'll notice, I'm hoping I'm actually recording, my microphone from the other set has a larger foam sock on it. However, if I remove the foam here and the foam here, the microphones look to be near identical, but I'm telling you right now, my microphone here, this one, it is a larger diameter, and that could be, if there is a difference. I didn't really show you the case before. This is the carrying case. It's fully formed down here to accept the transmit and receiver, and then there's a little fabric net up on top. This is the bunny rabbit, the lucky rabbit's foot that goes over the mic for severe wind conditions. And you get various cables. There was in the on the vendor's page, they talked about a lightning output where you could go into, go from the, I believe the receiver to a lightning out, which could go into your phone. But that wasn't included here, so I won't go into it any further, but they did mention it. So that's it. I think it's a pretty nice little system. I'm very familiar with this design. This is one of the smaller units, so there's some benefit there. Yes, it has a built-in microphone. I have tried using those in the past when I didn't want to use the lapel mic, but to be quite honest, they just never sound as good, because when you're as heavy as these are, even though this is light, if I clamp it to clothing, it'll start falling forward or to the side, and I lose audio. So to make sure that I've always got a consistent audio signal going into the transmitter, that's why I'm using a lapel mic. And again, remember, I set the gain to 6 out of 15. The very first recording was 0 out of 15. That's the gain control on the receiver. I think it's a pretty good system. Price is about right, and I saw there was an extended warranty available. So this is a system I'd recommend.